Good morning, everybody. It's Brooke with Mrs. Cog Hill Farm and my friends back here. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you just watch for a second and you will see that the hummingbirds are absolutely crazy this morning. They are making their migration south, and obviously a pit stop has been made at Cog Hill Farm to get their feel on. I just filled up the feeders, and boy oh boy, we have a frenzy of hummingbirds. I just enjoy these little birds so much. I don't know if it's your thing or not, but I have enjoyed them all summer, and I don't look forward to them leaving. But just know that they'll be back next year, and they'll know where the food is. Now, I was in our garage the other day, and we have a little handle that's red that you pull down in order to escape if the power goes out. Well, the hummingbird made its way in. I'm standing right there by the handle, and the hummingbird obviously thinks that it's nectar. It was red in color, and it just sat there and hovered right in front of my eyes, thinking that that was where it was going to be fed from. It was an amazing experience. Luckily, it found its way back out of the garage and went on, but it just let me know how interesting those little birds are. She knew that that was a red color and was attracted to it, thinking it was a flower. So I got some mouths to feed this morning, and y'all are going to come along with me because I have a friend over at Suits to Boots, Miss Jamie, that has told me about something that may help one of our horses. So Jamie saw a recent video where I was feeding Willie, and I was talking about how he turns his head sideways to eat. He has had his teeth floated. We wet his grain, but he still, I feel like, has a hard time eating. So she reached out to me and made a suggestion as to something that they do for their horses. One of their horses, Voodoo, who has an aging mouth, as well as Willie, and made a suggestion for me. She suggested that I add this forage to his grain, wet it down, and maybe this will help him to make his grain more palatable. So you can see on the bag here, it does say poor teeth. He does not have poor quality hay or pasture, but we may be able to help him consume his grain by mixing some of this with his porridge. All right, Willie, I'll be back in just a minute with a little new mixture for you to try, okay? That's right. So I don't really know what to expect this to look like. It says forage. Oh, wow. Not what I thought at all. Good gracious. Okay, this may be perfect for Willie. So I'm gonna do a little mix in here, and we're gonna see what my finished product looks like. Okay, so here I have Willie's food in this bucket, along with his Lubricin and his vitamins. I am going to add the forage, add water, and make sort of a slushy mixture. Now you may ask, why am I not doing this for Reska too? Reska does not have the teeth issue that Willie does. It may be that Willie was neglected longer than Reska ever was. So, unless Reska has any issues with her teeth, we're not going to do it for Reska. Jamie doesn't do it for all of her horses. She only did it for the one that was in need. So I'm going to wet this down and see how it does, and see what Willie thinks about it. All right, so I always know how much water to add when it's just grain. This is going to be something new because I'm just going to mix it all up real good, and then we're going to let it soak. Oh yeah, that's good. I think it's going to stay in his mouth better. All right, Well, I'm just gonna let this soak for a minute, and I have something that I need to test, and that is, I have an old, I guess it's a deer feeder, and I bought a new battery. I wanna see if this thing will work, or if I'm gonna have to buy a new motor for it, or maybe even a whole new feeder, because you guys know that we wanna plant something in the back of the property to encourage wildlife, and I want to be able to feed them and them come and enjoy watching them and taking pictures up. Mary Carl can take pictures. So I don't know if my old deer feeder is even going to work, but I cleaned it up and I'm going to insert a new battery and we're going to see. All right, let's see. Take my little protector off. Obviously red is going to be for positive and black's gonna be for negative. And let's see what happens. Oh yes, we have power. Look a here, look a here. We got a timer. So all I needed was a battery. This is a rechargeable battery. I already have a solar panel that I bought on clearance. So we're gonna get that hooked up to it. And I have some feed to put in this thing. I guess I need to run a test too and make sure it spins, which it did. Well, Jason's next door cleaning out Gus and Loretta's waters. I'm gonna get, well, first of all, let me show you. This is what the forage looks like.
Oh, wow.
Mixed with his grain.
Wow.
So it should allow him to keep the feed in his mouth easier. All right, Willie, see what you think. Oh, that's new, isn't it? Hey, look, buddy, it's right here. This is new. Well, I always swap them up. You don't think so, huh? Look. Come here. Look, buddy. And Jamie said that all of her other horses tried to eat Voodoo's. They all liked it. Look, sometimes you just got to try it. I scared him when I dropped it back in the bucket. Sometimes you just got to try it. He said, this stuff is different. He's not turning his head, Jason. Look. Oh, Gus. Look at him. That's good stuff, isn't it, buddy? Look at his mouth. Oh, goodness. All right. I wanted to make sure he would eat it before I went and fed Reska. Well, Willie, I think you need to tell Miss Jamie thank you. Because while you were hesitant to begin with, and I was kind of like, uh-oh, this isn't going to be good. He has not turned his head, not one time. Now, he's dropping some, but it's liquid. It's going to be an experiment for us to figure out, you know, how much water to put in it. You hear, it's like a soup. And Jamie said that that's what she did. It's makes like a soup. I think he likes it, Jason. And I think it's going to be easier for him to eat. Look, he's not turning his head at all. He's making a mess. He needs a bib. You need a bib, buddy. That's what your daddy looks like when he eats, too.
There's some hot wings. Yeah.
It's football day too, Willie. You just act like you're eating hot wings. Well, I've been right here on this side of the fence programming this deer feeder, and I made sure that I stayed far enough away from you so you wouldn't help me program it. I wonder if you've ever seen a deer before. And what do you think of them? You probably wouldn't think anything because you're so used to seeing goats, which is their probably very close cousin. No? You don't think so? Well, I hope you'll be proud of me because I did get the feeder programmed. Yep, made me tired, just like it did you. I got it programmed. I got it set to go off at 8 o'clock a.m. and 3:45 in the afternoon. And I have some special feed to go in it. You want to see it? So I went over to Prattville Farm Center, and it's just a hop, skip, and a jump from us. And they had Klombach deer feed. And this one is the one that they suggested for me. Now, not all of them would come out of a feeder, and that was obviously my priority, is I needed it to come out of an automatic feeder. And they told me they had some that had molasses in it and whatnot, and it would get kind of stuck in there. So I had a couple of choices, and I let them decide which one would be best because I'm going in this blind. I mean, and I told them, I said, this is just to bring them in. I'm not hunting. I'm just simply wanting to enjoy viewing the deer just like I do the hummingbirds and wild turkeys and whatnot. So this is the feed that they suggested. Now, I was just looking at the ingredients, and y'all, it has roasted peanut halves. Of course, you can see the corn in it. Soybean oil, roasted soybeans, whole corn, and I think this may be just what we need. What do you think, Bramble? When I was putting it in the bucket of the tractor, I must tell y'all, I almost smelled an apple scent, and I don't know why, but I can't wait to get this feed out of this bag and see what it actually looks like. It's a pellet, it's mixed with some corn, and we'll see how this works. My feeder is in the bucket. I've got to go get the legs, which are down at the old barn, but I see I'm missing a few screws here that keep this thing held tight. I did find a couple that I could use to replace. I'm missing the latch here that keeps, well, it's not the latch that I'm missing, it's the handle that allows me to open it. I think this is gonna work to get me started. I hope so. I hope I don't get all the way across the property and then realize this is not gonna work. We're gonna find out. Well, before we go hop on the tractor and go see if we can't get this deer feeder to work, I had one last stop, and that was the only animal here that I haven't taken care of yet. My little chicks. They're kind of like not really babies anymore. You're gonna see. Y'all, these babies have grown so fast. It's almost like during the course of the season, I forgot how quickly chicks grow up. Now, they still are on heat, but not very much. I think we're down to 75 degrees, and pretty soon I'm gonna be moving them upstairs to the grow out area, which is right above them, which I have ready. I just need to shut that door in the back because they're gonna grow out of this space. But I am happy to say that I haven't lost any, and they are very, very cute. Now, we are in the barn. There are flies in the barn, and it is quite amusing, to say the least, to see these babies chase after the flies that get into their brooder area through the little cracks on the sides. All of a sudden, you'll see every one of them take off, just like one of them did a couple of seconds ago. That's why they were making that sound. And sometimes they actually catch a meal, but they are very, very active chicks. As a matter of fact, the other morning, Jason took care of them, and he said as soon as he opened this door, he had just a little small crack in it. Out goes two. So they're very active, as the definition of an Ancona chick says. And we're gonna see if they will stay in the fence area once they get moved to the bus. They are flighty, and they have already started to show their personality with escaping from Jason. But I tell you what, they sure are good foragers. I mean, I don't think I've ever had chicks in a brooder that chase insects like these have. I mean, you can look at them. Their heads are forward. They're constantly just looking, searching. Jason offered to help me get this feeder set up. And I said, no, no, no. It's football day. your team's about to get started. So I think I got this. So let's hope I really do, because I told him I didn't need any help. So we got to go find the legs to this feeder first, which I think I know where they are. And then we're going to head across the property and get this feeder set up. Hopefully. They're right where I thought they were. Here we are down here in Implement Alley, which is the back side of our property that has all of our implements so scattered about. We eventually would like to do something different, but here are the legs to the feeder. And let's just hope that I can get it level enough to make the feeder sit properly. We shall see. Well, look what the cat drug in. As I was going by, I looked over and I saw Miss Pink, and I thought everybody might want to see a glimpse of her. She is doing well, still living down at the old barn where she appropriately calls her home. And just wanted to show her to y'all. Know that she's doing well. She's still drooling. She's still, yeah, she's still Pink. As we travel through the back side of the property, I want to show y'all the view in front of us to know how far we're actually going. We're about halfway there. All the way up on the other side of that hill is where we're going. And you can see that I cut a little trail with the bush hog or the brush hog in order to get over there. And this is under a power line, so it's just kind of, well, it's just hilly. So if you saw the last video, I did borrow Catherine over at G&G's disc to get the soil turned over and to get it ready to plant something that the deer and the wildlife will enjoy. However, there's still no rain in the forecast. And I know that seeds require rain in order to germinate. So I decided to just go ahead and get the feeder put out, get them some feed, get them started coming to this area. And then when I see that it's a chance of rain, I will get some cover crop planted, and hopefully it'll come up in time this season. So I stopped right here, and one reason why is because it seems like a pretty level area, and while I could probably locate some pieces of pipe to fix it if it's not completely level, I feel like this will require less work. So first thing I want to do, y'all take it easy on me, because I've never done this. I've never done this. It's a new process. There went my camera, down into the dirt. Wipe y'all off. Hopefully it still works properly. Let's just hope it all goes together the way it should. I might have that leg and the pipe upside down. Let's see. All right. That's 2. Just 3. Now, let's hope when I stand it up, it's going to be semi-level. Oh yeah. Well, I made it in the bucket. Now I gotta get these big 50-pound sacks into this feeder. Does it not have a pull tab? Oh my goodness, y'all. It smells delicious. And here's one of those roasted peanuts that they were talking about. It smells good enough to eat. Well, that's what we want. I guess this is a roasted soybean. Goodness gracious. This stuff smells delicious. It wasn't an apple scent that I smelled. I guess it's more of a, a nutty scent, but it smells very, very good. As long as I don't knock this tripod over. They told me some feeders hold 4 bags, some hold 3.5, so I bought 3 bags because, of course, this is an experiment. And you may say, well, how are you gonna know if you have deer if you don't have a camera over here? Well, that's something I'm unsure about too. So I know you have to have internet in order to not pay a subscription service. Otherwise, you have to have a subscription. So I don't know which game camera I should get. But right now, we're just gonna try to see if something eats what's on the ground, which I know that's probably gonna happen. And then we'll work on getting a camera. Like I said, first things first. Oh, it's gonna be almost to the top by the time I get this 3rd bag in there. I tell you what, this is some good looking feed. When we lived at the old farm, we did feed deer, but we fed them just corn. And it got to where the dogs ran them off so bad because we had 7 acres, but really just 4 that was in front of the house. But we've always had Great Pyrenees, and our livestock guardian dogs ran the deer off so frequently that they stopped coming. So we stopped feeding them because obviously we didn't want to bring them in and then them be deterred by something, which that's what they were supposed to do, is ward off predators. And they didn't know a deer from a predator. All right, so 150 pounds is in, and it's to right there. So even though my latch is broken on the outside, it still closes. There's no way water's gonna get in. I did find some ways to keep this tight here. Now I'm gonna get out of here and we're gonna do a test and see how far this feed spins out. I sure hope when I open this little door where I program the feeder that the battery hasn't been disconnected. Because if it did, I lost all my programming. Let's hope not. I don't even know if they make feeders like these anymore. Let's see. That says test. And I think my test didn't work. All right, here we go. Here we go. This is the test. Oh my goodness, I need a face shield. Good gracious alive. I don't know if y'all heard it, but it was hitting me in the head and I was turned around backwards. I don't especially like that pattern. That's not what I remember. That is not what I remember at all. Needless to say, it comes out and it spreads it out, but it's not what I thought. Okay. So you can see there's corn. The deer feed and the peanuts are brown, so you're not going to see them as easily as you see the corn. But let's just walk over here and see how far this corn, I mean, it was shooting me in the face. I don't see any over here. Here's some. Look how far it came. There's corn way over here. Like I said, we can't see the pellets because they blend in with the ground. That was not what I expected. So next time when I do the test, I'm either gonna have some face protection on. Yeah, I had my sunglasses on, but that stuff felt like a rock hitting me going that fast. So needless to say, y'all, I got it accomplished. I did what I set out to do. I set my first feeder up by myself, and I hope now that the wildlife will come, and then we will get them some good forage planted as soon as we see there's a chance of rain. Good gracious, y'all. That was scary. So I can set it to whatever amount of time I want it to spin out. And I did 15 seconds, and that's gonna be an experiment as well to see, you know, I think I'm gonna need a little more than that, but I don't wanna mess with it too much today. But I might go get me a couple of bags of corn just to spread out in the area, just to get them used to knowing that they're gonna be fed here. And that way they won't have to just, you know, just have the little bits that have fallen on the ground. I can kind of spread it out and make them feel comfortable. You know, in their new home, they need a welcome mat. And I think a couple of bags of corn on the ground would be a good welcome. Welcome home. I told y'all Jason offered to help me, and I told him no because the ball game was about to come on. Now he does not know that I'm about to video him, but here we go. Do y'all hear this? Let's go up there and see what he's doing. He's even got my dog up here. Dee Dee, are you becoming a football fan?
She said roll tide.
Roll Tide. You know, you offered to help me, and I told you no.
Yeah, offer to help you.
And it looks like the good guys may be on top.
Right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Okay, Jason. Well, guess what?
I did try to help you. Did you get it?
I know you tried to help me, but I told you your game was coming on, and I thought I could get it. And guess what?
What?
I got it.
Oh, good.
So we're all good.
You're not hurt. We don't need.
I'm not hurt. I'm not hurt. I do need your help with determining what kind of game camera to get. I'm not gonna stay, but just a second.
No, we're good.
I saw you looking. You didn't want to miss a play.
No, we're good.
But I appreciate the offer, and I just I got to decide what kind of game camera, because you just wait till you edit this video.
Oh, goodness.
When you see how fast that feed came out, I needed a helmet. It just about took me out. Look at there, Jason. Look at there.
I see it.
It came out like a bullet. I was not expecting it. It was like somebody was throwing rocks at me, seriously.
It slung it.
It slung it. So, yeah, I got it done. We may need a little tinkering with it, and we're going to work on getting a game camera. In the meantime, say it.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Well, y'all don't have to worry for long, because my dog, she came back downstairs with me. She just didn't know where I was, and Jason was the next best thing. I can hear him clapping. That means Alabama's doing well. So, I don't know what I'm going to do with the rest of this football game is going on. Maybe sit out here and watch these hummingbirds enjoy their nectar. I don't know. But I tell you one thing, when I go to fill that deer feeder up again, I'm definitely going to be prepared. I hope y'all got a laugh out of it. I'm glad I wasn't hurt, but I sure wasn't expecting it to come out as fast as what it did. And I'm glad I was able to get it done without Jason having to help me. He did not mind, but I just have a mindset of if I can do it myself, I want to. And he respects that. He lets me do things that I can do on my own. And then if I need help, he's there. So I hope whatever you guys are doing today, that you have a great, wonderful afternoon, morning, evening, whatever. And just remember, y'all be good.